Let's get read. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I am going to be letting you guys know the books that I would like to read before Christmas. So I picked on my YouTube community tab. I used it for the very first time ever, and I put a poll up because YouTube kind of told me to. They sent me an email and was just like, you know, you can use your community tab, right? And I was like, no. And so I put this poll up, and I was trying to think of different videos that maybe you guys would like, and I also had a little other tab so you guys could suggest stuff, but you guys seem to be happy with the video ideas that I posted and you voted, and the winning video is today's video, which is going to be books that I would like to read before Christmas. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to go through the books that I am currently in the middle of. So lately, especially the past few months of this year, I've had this really bad habit of starting books and stopping them, starting a new one and stopping them. Reason being, if I'm reading the same book for like 2 weeks, I get bored. And I've got so many other books that I am a mood reader, so I'm like, oh, I really want to start this book that I've got, especially if it's like a review book or something that I'm really excited about. So I'm just like, I'm gonna start that review book like right now. So I'll put that one on hold and then I'll go back to it. The thing is, I do go back to these books, which I have done so recently. So some of these I've put down a few months ago, some of them a couple of months ago, so they're at least like one book per month pretty much. So I'm in the middle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books at the moment, which is probably the most I've been in the middle of, but I will finish them, and luckily I remember what happened in each and every one of these books, so I don't have to start from the beginning again, because that's when I know that I have to read that book, because I'm like, well shit, I don't want that to happen. So let's start off with this pile of books first, and the first book choice is A Sky Painted God by Laura Wood. So this is a very glitzy, glamoury book. It was released a few months ago. I can't remember exactly what month, but it's not long been out. And I have actually started reading this again. It was a few chapters ago. I was on, so I've read like this today. And so I'm 60% through, because I've got it on the Kindle as well. So I'm 60%, I'm really enjoying it actually, and this is like a Great Gatsby vibe book. I'm getting Great Gatsby vibes, even though I haven't read Great Gatsby, it's just from that sort of like era, and it's about this sort of like mysterious family. This girl called Lou, she goes over to this house one day and nobody's there, it's abandoned, and suddenly they come back, so she runs off and they're like, but she leaves behind something and she goes back to try and get it, and then she meets them. So they're quite mysterious family. She finds up getting involved in their family, and she gets sort of like these feelings towards this guy that she has a great connection with, and you can really see that, and it's just like, oh, so it's weirdly addictive. I don't usually sort of read historical fiction books, but after reading this, I'm finding I'm really enjoying it, so I might end up reading more historical fiction. So if you guys have any historical fiction recommendations, let me know down below. The next book that I'm currently reading, I received for review. I was on a blog tour of it, and I am only like 3 chapters in, but this is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kangwas. This is her latest novel, and boy is it exciting. It's Japanese mythology, and my god, like the first chapter is literally about this servant girl that ends up getting murdered by this sort of demon-like thing, and this powerful woman is the one that sort of like commanded this demon. Oh, it was just crazy, but I was just like, whoa. And then like the first chapter is told from a perspective of this sort of human that's like half fox, half human. It's quite weird, but you know, in Japan anything can happen. And then the third chapter we've got this samurai guy. So like all these characters, I think they end up like meeting, especially like those two. I don't know yet if this servant girl has anything to do with the story, because I'm only this far in. Don't spoil me if you've read it, but I'm not going to say anything more because you guys need to read it for yourself. But apparently it's like about these sort of scrolls, and this place has to protect these scrolls, and I think this like half human half fox one has to protect the scrolls, but this samurai is kind of like involved. I know, it's crazy, but It sounds so good. And so far 3 chapters in, it's definitely interesting, but I'm just being warmed into the story right now because I'm meeting the characters with their own little perspectives. So I'm looking forward to reading more of that. Next of all, a book that I started this month actually, in November, Beauty Queens by Liva Bray. So this book's been on my TBR for 7 freaking months, and well, not 7, like several, more like, I don't know why my mind just said 7 for some reason. It could be 7 months for all I know. Maybe my mind actually knows me more than I know myself. I'm like halfway through. I'm actually not even halfway through. I can tell with the bookmark. I'm not even halfway through, but I'm chapter 13, and it's about these beauty pageant girls who end up stranded on this island. Like the airplane just sort of like explodes. They end up on this island. So it's about these beauty pageant girls having to learn to survive because they were about to go and do this little competition thing. So it's about them learning to survive, but like how none of them really sort of know properly how to survive. So it's really funny because obviously they're so used to having things like done for them, and you know, things like they're really obsessed with how their hair looks and how their makeup looks. So it's quite funny. It's a very dry sort of humour. This book's got like hit and miss reviews, and some people have loved it because they find it hilarious. Some people are just like, ugh. I'm sort of a bit in the middle. I'm enjoying it, but at the same time I'm just like, come on, pick up the pace. So I did kind of stop this because I was reading this for a couple of weeks, and nothing about this book was sort of like drawing me into like obsessively read it like romantic books or contemporary books do. So I put it down for a bit, but still I want to get it done before Christmas. Next of all, I have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Fuck yes. I am on page 212, chapter 25. I started reading this and then I got the audiobook. The audiobook's really good. Started listening to it to and from work, but then I found that like so much was going on at work. I had a load of shit going on at work and I just wasn't focusing on the audiobook. And then I ended up putting it down, unfortunately. I was loving it though. I was loving it. So luckily I can remember everything that's gone on in this book. So it's really good, and I'm nearly halfway through actually, but I would like to get this read before Christmas. I definitely look forward to continuing on with it, and yeah, it's freaking good. The next book that I'm currently in the middle of reading is Summer at Hope Meadows by Lucy Daniels. This book I put down during the summer, but I can near enough remember everything that happened. I'm on chapter 7, which is page 95. So it's a different sort of book. It's the Animal Art books, like these little books, like right here, these little children's Animal Art books. As Mandy is older, like when she's an adult. So Mandy in this is like 11, 12, around about those few ages. And in this one, she's an adult and she's a vet, so it's kind of like fast forwards, and it's so cute because nostalgic feels and everything. And yeah, so we've got Mandy in this book, we've got James in this book, and it's really cool. And animals and veterinary stuff, so if you love animals, I totally recommend it. So I put it down because there were like other review books that I needed to read and other more important books, and I think there was readathons going on that I couldn't fit this book into, so I put it down because of that, and I just found that I haven't got back into it. So I would like to get this book completed before Christmas, even though it's quite a summary book, but it's animals, so you know. And then the last book that I would like to read and complete before Christmas is another currently reading book. It's the last currently reading of them all, and this is Beardy's World by Joyce Ives. This is a non-fiction-y sort of book about these bearded collie dogs, and it's their diaries, the stories of their life, and it's written like they're telling the story, which is really cute. So I was on a blog tour of this, and I was only like 14 pages in, but I could near enough make a sort of like review on it as it was. But I'm really enjoying it actually, and I'm on page 14, so I'm really not that far in, but it was just that enjoyable. So yeah, non-fiction book, which, you know, you would think, Katie, you don't normally read non-fiction books, why are you reading this? but I'm enjoying it because it's about doggies, and yeah, and it's cool. So I just would like to get this book completed before Christmas. So there you have it, guys. Those are the books that I'm currently in the middle of reading. I just want to like clear the list before 2019, and I think Christmas is a really good idea. So those books I'm currently reading. I've also got 4 books that I would just like to generically get read. So the first of which I'm going to start with is this mighty beast, which is A History of Magic. I've got A History of Magic. Now, I am listening to A History of Magic on audiobook from Audible. However, it's done differently because you've got like people talking in it and like putting their input. There's Stephen Fry, there's Jim Kay, they talk in it, whereas that's not really in this book. So I'm thinking with this one I just need to like flick through it and just sort of like scan and skim it to what I've listened to and then read what they didn't mention, because it's an audiobook, so it's not like done word for word, but I've nearly finished with that audiobook, so that's why I put this one on the list, because I just want to get this one properly out of the way. Last 3 I haven't even started yet, but they are books that I really want to freaking read so badly. The first of which is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. The third and final book that's in this sort of series. It's a spin-off series. The other characters just sort of bounce into the books somehow. So I've read Anna the French Kiss, I've read Lola and the Boy Next Door. This is the only one I haven't read, and it's a contemporary, so I think it would just be perfect to read during this cold winter time, and I'm looking forward to it. And I don't really know too much about the synopsis, to be honest, because I bought it because I loved the first 2 books, so it's about time that I get this fucking read. The next book that I would like to read before Christmas is a sequel. I loved the first book. I read the first book this year. It was amazing. Like, it was so hilarious that I was laughing and it made me feel really good. So I think this would just be really perfect to sort of read, and I'm actually thinking of maybe joining in with a readathon, and there are some challenges that I could so easily read this book towards. So this is Dramas of a Teenage Heiress by Katie Birchall. So this is the sequel to Secrets of a Teenage Heiress, which is so good. So this is basically about this hotel, this big hotel that's I think in London, and stars end up staying there, and this girl, like the daughter, she is literally a klutz and she gets herself into so much trouble. And in the first book they have this pop star there and she winds up hanging out with her like unintentionally, and it's just so funny. So this is like another adventure, and it was so good. I totally recommend it for you guys to get. It was hilarious. I did do a review on that as well, so if you'd like to check that out then do so. But this is the sequel. They're not very big books. I flew through the first book so fast, so I just want to read this so badly. I really want a good laugh, and this will just be perfect for the holidays. Now the final book that's going to be in this video and on this list for me to read before Christmas, because I vow that I will fucking read this book. I've put this book on so many fucking TBRs now and I still haven't got around to reading it. I put it on my November TBR and I still haven't read it. I'm frustrated. I think I'm not in a slump. I'm not in a real hardcore slump. I'm in sort of like a half slump. I'm very slowly reading books. Like, no matter what I pick up, I'm slowly reading it. And it annoys me because back in the day, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I could sit down, I could read a book and it would be done within a day or 2. Now, it takes me a week or 2 to finish a book. Like, I've lost motivation and my spark of reading lately, and it's frustrating me so much where I just want to sit down. Don't know if it's like adulthood. It's since I've moved in this flat especially, I've just struggled to read loads of books. I'm behind my Goodreads goal by like 5 books at the moment. It's been so bad. I've never been behind my goal with that many books before. I'm just sucking, and you can tell by all these currently reading books that this is what's happened. And it's really frustrating me so much. So if you guys have any tips or like any feedback, especially if you guys work and have a busy schedule, if you have kids and that, and how you guys deal with it, let me know down below, because I struggle to find time sometimes because my mind is very OCD. If I don't get something done, it annoys me and I just lose motivation. I haven't even played any video games, and I haven't like done any reading. Like, for example, the past couple of days I've been sorting out my TBR jars because that's my OCD, and since sorting them I've sorted 4 jars, which has taken me like 1 day and 1 evening. It makes me feel better. So I don't know whether my mind just needs to cleanse at the moment. However, this very morning I did start one of my currently reading books again, and I read a few chapters and I was really enjoying it. So I think once I get my mind stuck into it, I do it. And I'm finding I've got to start that Forest app again, because procrastination is the thief of time, I swear. Because there's this app called Forest, and you grow a tree and it stops you from going on your phone. If you go on your phone, you lose the tree. And the tree grows, so you can set a time limit of how long you want to read for. So this morning I read for half an hour, and I looked at my phone twice and then I was like, no, I can't do that because my tree will just go. And it worked. So if you guys want an app on your phone, I totally recommend it. I heard from it from Little Book Owl. She used it, and then I'm just so thankful for her because it's just helped me. So I've just gone on a tangent, and the last book is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm so sorry I like waffled on for like a few minutes there, but this book, fuck's sake. The movie's come out now. I haven't seen it. I went to go try and see it at like a cinema around here, and it disappeared after a week, and I'm like, did they ban it? I don't know what happened, so I'm gonna have to find a way to try and watch it, but luckily I haven't read it yet. And I keep being told to read it, I keep seeing it everywhere. And then whilst I was sorting out my TBR jar of monthly recommendations, which is basically everybody's top books of 2017 into a jar, I was sorting them all out, all the duplicates and everything, because I had no time to do all that at the time. And The Hate You Give and A Court of Wings and Ruin, and there was like one other book that I had loads of, were the main people's favourites of last year. And when I saw it I was like, I need to read it. So I've got to embarrass myself. In fact, I'm already embarrassed. I don't even have to do that, but for fuck's sake, like, guys, I've got to read that book. I've got to, like, if I don't read it in November, I've got to read it in December, and this is my last chance. If not, I've got to punish myself somehow. I've got to punish myself. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of this video. Those are all the books I would like to get read and completed before Christmas. So I've got like a month. I don't know how it's gonna go. Some of these, because they're currently reading books, I'm like halfway through or a quarter through, somewhere part through, I don't know. Like, because they're somewhat part through, I've done well. And then History of Magic I've just got to flick through, but there's like others and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, there's something wrong with me. Send help, please. So if you guys have read any of these books, don't forget to let me know down below in the comments. And if there's any books that you're like, Katie, why haven't you read that? Make me feel really bad and guilty, because I need to. I need to be made to feel guilty, because at the moment I'm too easygoing and I'm too laid back about it, and I need someone to be like, Katie, fucking read that book, you bitch. And then I'll just read it. So, well, I don't know yet. I haven't had anybody tell me off yet. If you've liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If there's any other videos that you would like me to do, because I'm always on the lookout for different sort of videos to do. Maybe like a winter recommendations video, because I did an autumn one for the first time. Maybe I should do a winter one. Who knows? But let me know down below what you think. Any comments, any thoughts, leave them down below. If you're new to my channel, if you'd like to see more of my videos, then please feel free to subscribe. I upload videos all the time. I've no specific schedule, just because I work shift work and I live in my own flat, so I've got to do like housework and stuff, and there's just other priorities too. So there's just no specific schedule, so literally when I upload a video you get surprised. I'm literally like, surprise video is uploaded, watch me now. But I just would like to say, as of recent, I've found loads of new subscribers who are lovely. I hope you guys are like here to stay, and because you guys subscribe back and stuff, and it means so much, like so much. So I hit like 2,100 subscribers, which is the most that I've ever hit. I was stuck on like 2,050 for ages. In fact, it went down like 10, then it went up like 50, and then it went down like 20. It's been pissing me off, if I'm honest. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't really know. But to be honest, I do these videos because I like to be part of BookTube, to be honest. Like, I love it so much, and it's a hobby. And yeah, that's literally it. But I just wanted to say, as a side note, thank you to everybody new and even old, people that have stuck around and everything. Like, it means a lot, so much. And I really want to do like a giveaway really soon, so I might wait until the new year, because I'm currently poor. I am not going to be buying any more books. Like, the only book that I've got will be the pre-order of Queen of Air and Darkness, but I've spent loads of money on Christmas presents already, like for my nan and my aunt and Ben and his mum and his dad and his dad's partner, that I'm just gonna be poor. And I don't need to buy any books, because since sorting out my TBR jars, I've got so many, so I don't need to. So I might just go on a book slowdown in 2019, like one book a week or something like that, or one book, I don't know, it depends like how I feel. But I just need to be a lot better. But that's it from me, enough waffling on. I'm gonna head off now. I hope you guys are going to have an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie. Thank you very much for watching my video as always, and I'll see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye!